Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global TV, live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu on Sunday said his administration will continue to implement more palliative measures to ease the cascading hardship occasioned by the discontinuance of petrol subsidy and the unification of the exchange rate, among other economic reforms. He also promised to place Nigeria on a path of irreversible progress shortly, adding that his administration will continue to implement palliative measures to ease the burden on the most vulnerable, address current hardships, and alleviate the suffering of all the nation's people. The president acknowledged that the past 6 months of his administration has been a time of transformation and relentless change in the country. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Borno State Chapter, has urged the Christian faithful to embrace and appreciate the blessings associated with the Feast of Christmas, which surpasses temporal and earthly realities. The chairman of CAN in the state and auxiliary Archbishop of Maiduguri Catholic Diocese, Reverend John Bongna Bakeni, conveyed this message in a felicitation issued to Christians ahead of the Christmas celebration on Sunday in Maiduguri, further adding that this year's Christmas is observed amidst challenging economic circumstances, insecurity, and prevalent fear of the unknown. Despite these circumstances, he encouraged Christians not to lose sight of the essence and true significance of this solemn feast, noting that the blessings and graces of Christmas far exceed these transient and fleeting realities. A 34-year-old man has been apprehended following suspicions of drug possession at his residence in Wisteria Street, Flora Park, Polokwane, Limpopo, South Africa. According to South Africa's news platform, Independent Online, also known as IOL, Brigadier Hulani Mashaba, the provincial police spokesperson in Limpopo, reported that the provincial organized crime unit received information about a Nigerian man involved in drug activities at his residence in Wisteria Street, Floral Park. Acting on the tip-off, the police went to the address and found the suspect packaging drugs, leading to his immediate arrest. During the operation, law enforcement seized a significant quantity of illicit substances. They confiscated 7 large plastic bags containing heroin, 18 sachets of crystal meth, and 15 tablets of mandrax, estimated to have a street value of around 75,000 rupees. Vice President Kashim Shettima and the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, have received chieftaincy titles in Anambra State. The traditional titles were conferred on Shettima and Ganduje during the 32nd Ofala Festival in Ukpo Dumukofia on Saturday. Photos from the ceremony were shared on the X page of the APC on Sunday. The photos were captioned National Chairman Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and Vice President Kashim Shettima have bagged chieftaincy titles in Anambra State. The titles were conferred on the 2 leaders by Igwe Dr. Robert C. Eze during the 32nd Ofala Festival of Ukpo Dumukofia on Saturday. Sponsored by Prince Arthur Eze, the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu, IGP Kayode Egbetoko, and some members of the National Working Committee NWC were present at the event. Property, including drugs, furniture, and assorted drinks, estimated at 23.8 million naira were destroyed in a fire incident which broke out on Saturday at Alpha Yahaya area of Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The fire affected 7 flats and 2 shops at number 5 Ado compound. It burnt 3 of the 7 flats while the 2 shops were completely destroyed with items. Head of Media and Publicity Kwara State Fire Service Hassan Adekunle confirmed the incident, adding that men of the fire service worked excellently to minimize the damage caused by the fire. Total estimated property saved is 47.4 million and total estimated property lost accumulates at 23.8 million naira. The director of Kwara State Fire Service, Prince Folade John Olomuyiwa, urged the citizens to always cultivate the habit of switching off their electrical appliances even before bedtime, as this would help to prevent the chances of fire outbreaks in their various homes, offices, and also help them to drastically reduce such occurrences. 2 persons were confirmed dead, while 5 others sustained varying degrees of injuries in an accident that occurred at the J4 area on the Shagamu-Benin Expressway on Saturday. The spokesperson of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC in Ogun, Florence Ukpe, confirmed the incident to journalists in Abeokuta. She added that the incident, which occurred at about 3:35 p.m., involved a Chevrolet SUV. She said that 7 people were involved in the accident, comprising 6 men and 1 woman. The FRSC spokesperson noted that the accident was caused by speeding and road obstruction, adding that the SUV rammed into the stationary truck due to speeding. The injured victims were rescued by a driver who was driving behind them, and the unarmed driver took the injured to the hospital for medical attention, while the corpses were deposited at the State General Hospital morgue in Ijebu-Ode by the FRSC operatives. Okwe said that the FRSC sector commander in the state, Anthony Uga, had always admonished motorists to apply caution while driving and maintaining the stipulated speed limit. And no fewer than 16 persons were killed in Mushu village of Bokos local government area of Plateau State. Spokesperson of Operation Safe Haven, a multi-security task force maintaining peace in the state, Captain Oya James, confirmed the incident. According to him, the attack took place on Saturday night while residents of the attacked community were asleep, adding that following the attack, security personnel were deployed to prevent any breakdown of law and order in the area. There was uprising after the incident, but the situation has been brought under control. Meanwhile, Governor Caleb Manasseh Mofwang has condemned the attack on the community, describing the attack as barbaric, brutal, and uncalled for. In a statement by Governor's Director of Press and Public Affairs, Gyang Bere, said the governor directed security agencies to promptly apprehend the perpetrators responsible for the heinous act and ensure they face the full force of the law. Barre said the governor expressed deep concern over the incident, urging communities across the state to remain vigilant, reporting any suspicious activities to security forces for immediate action, questioning the impunity of the attackers who inflicted harm on communities, destroying property and evading justice. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, has warned against the use of his office to issue fake appointments to members of the public. Akume gave the warning in a statement released on Sunday by the Head of Information Office of the SGF, Segun Imohe-Osen, in Abuja. He said the warning was because of the purported fake appointments emanating from the SGF office by immoral people to swindle unsuspecting individuals. Akume debunked the information circulating social media, emails, text messages, and other outlets, luring members of the public to submit their curriculum vitae at a fee to a non-existent desk in his office. Meanwhile, some travelers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have commended the federal government for granting a 50% discount on their fare tickets to various destinations within the country. They made the commendation in separate interviews on Sunday. Earlier, President Bola Tinubu approved the commencement of the 50% discount of the tickets fare by road, effective from December 24, 2023 to January 4, 2024. A lawyer, Dakbo Eson, who booked at the ABC Transport Office for a trip by luxurious bus from Abuja to Lagos, commended the federal government for paying half of his bill. According to him, the message came shortly as if it would not happen, but it is real and commendable. The EFCC has arrested a convicted Italian, Floriana De Stefani, for failing to obey a court order upon her conviction by Justice Mojisola Dada of the Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) spokesperson Dele Oyewale said this in a statement in Abuja, further speaking that the judge on October 7, 2022 found De Stefani guilty of using false documents and counterfeit stills to confer on herself ownership of a property. He said that the property belonged to a company, Waterside Properties Limited, an offense contrary to Section 366 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State. According to him, Dada, while delivering judgment, sentenced the convict to 3 years in prison and also ordered the release of the property on 14A and B Warren Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, to Waterside Properties Limited within 3 weeks. He further added that De Stefani was, however, rearrested on December 19, 2023 for refusing to vacate the property ordered for release to the company by the court. Following her arrest on Tuesday, she was also issued a notice by the Commission to vacate the property within 7 days or risk legal actions. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has uncovered a total of 37,170,855,753.44 kobo allegedly laundered in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs under former Minister Sadia Umar Farouk. I beg your pardon. Details of the ongoing probe obtained revealed that the money was transferred from the federal government's coffers and sent to 38 different bank accounts domiciled in 5 legacy commercial banks belonging to or connected with the contractor, James Okwete. Following receipt of the funds, Okwete allegedly transferred 6,746,034,000 naira to Bureau de Change operators and withdrew 540 million naira in cash, purchased luxury cars and bought luxury houses in Abuja and Enugu State. 53 companies were allegedly traced to Okwete, who was also said to have used 47 of the companies to lift federal government contracts amounting to 27 billion plus. He is also linked with 153 bank accounts in 12 commercial banks, in which 134 accounts are corporate accounts linked to different companies. The Jigawa State Police Command says it has arrested 26 persons for alleged phone snatching and theft, burglary, and drug abuse in the state. The Police Public Relations Officer of the command, DSP Lawan Shisu, said this in a statement on Sunday in Duse. He said the arrest was sequel to a series of raids between December 18th and December 19th in 4 local government areas of the state. The spokesman said that operatives of the command arrested a teenager over alleged phone snatching and 10,000 naira theft at Babura town in Babura local government area, while 2 other suspects were nabbed over the alleged theft of 6 laptop computers and a motorbike in Hadejia, Shisu. Shisu said the police recovered 1 motorcycle, wraps of cannabis sativa, and a number of narcotic substances, among others, during the raids. And in Lagos, the Lagos State government has issued a warning to landlords and Community Development Association leaders, requesting that they promptly abide by the government's directive that all interlink roads must be accessible within the state during the Christmas and New Year season. This was disclosed in a statement by the Public Relations Officer Lasma Adebayo Taufik on Sunday. According to the statement, the government will create a safe and secure environment is seriously threatened by those who act against the street gate laws. Taufik quoted the agency's acting general manager, Bakare Oki, as saying that the policy street gates were designed to make it simple for residents and other road users in the state to access them. And you're watching the News Prime live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the News Prime returns, Serap sues NNPC over failure to account for Nigeria's oil revenue. The news continues shortly with details of this and more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Prime. Thank you for staying with us. And the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has thwarted attempts by transnational drug traffickers to flood Nigerian communities with large quantities of assorted illicit drugs during the Yuletide season. The NDLEA operatives frustrated the attempt and intercepted millions of tramadol, 225 milligram pills, thousands of codeine, syrup bottles, and bags of Canadian loud in consignment arriving in the country ahead of the Christmas celebration. The Director, Media Advocacy in NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, disclosed this in a statement released in Abuja on Sunday. Babafemi says that the NDLEA operatives intercepted no fewer than 7,500,000 pills of tramadol, 225 milligram at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja. Babafemi said that the consignment, which was taken into custody on Friday, December 22nd, came on board a Turkish airline with no country of manufacture or origin. Apart from being the first time such shipment would be seized on the airline's flight, it was equally the first of such coming from Hamburg, Germany. Led by the Bauchi State government, led by Bala Mohammed, has distributed food items worth over 120 millions to Christian community across the state for the Christmas celebration. Food items distributed include 66 cows, 102 rams, 1,438 bags of 50 kg rice, and 189 bottles of groundnut oil, among others. Abdondala Jin, chairman of the distribution committee, announced this development while speaking with journalists yesterday in Bauchi. He mentioned that every year the governor provided such a gesture to assist the Christian faithful in celebrating Christmas. Jin, the special advisor to the governor on civil service matters, stated that the committee allocated a substantial portion of the food items to the Christian Association of Nigeria in the state, which further distributed them to all the 5 blocks across the state. Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has tasked Christians in the state to look beyond the celebration of Christmas but imbibe spiritual lessons to share love among the populace. The governor, in a statement issued by his spokesperson, Olawale Rashid, on Sunday, urged Christians to embrace the spirit of compassion and kindness that the season reflects, while stressing the need for residents in the state not to undermine the prospects of unity and driving the needed progress for the state. He noted the importance of using the season to renew bonds and spread love without boundaries. And on the foreign scene, the Israeli military has vowed to continue its operation in Gaza, but admitted it is protracted and difficult. A spokesman said over the weekend it was expanding its ground operations in the southern and northern Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the U.S. said Joe Biden spoke to the Israeli Prime Minister and emphasized the critical need to protect civilians. In response, Benjamin Netanyahu said the war would go on until all Israeli goals were achieved. President Biden also told reporters that he had not asked Netanyahu for a ceasefire. On Friday, the UN Secretary Council approved a resolution demanding large-scale aid deliveries to Gaza, but stopped short of calling for a ceasefire between the two warring sides. Talks held in Egypt earlier this week designed to secure a fresh truce between Israel and Hamas have so far failed to deliver results. A Palestinian official familiar with the ceasefire negotiations said that Egypt presented a new three-stage plan that begins with a 2-week humanitarian truce which could be extended, during which Hamas releases 40 hostages and Israel releases 120 Palestinian prisoners. And in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has lifted ban on transaction in cryptocurrencies, saying banks and other financial institutions can now provide services to cryptocurrency exchanges and dealers, also known as virtual assets providers, VAPs. Accordingly, the CBN said financial institutions are now permitted to open accounts for VAPs, provide designated settlement accounts and settlement services, act of channels for foreign exchange flows and trade, and render any other activity that may be permitted by the CBN from time to time. The CBN, however, said that bank accounts opened for VAPs cannot be used for cash withdrawal and third-party check. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited for failing to disclose details of Nigeria's daily oil production, exportation and revenues since the removal of fuel subsidy in May 2023. The organization announced this on Sunday. In the suit filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja, SERAP is seeking an order to compel NNPC to disclose the number of barrels of oil Nigeria produces and exports daily, as well as the total revenues generated from oil production since the subsidy was removed. Former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Sanusi Lamido Sanusi recently alleged that NNPC is failing to remit enough foreign exchange into the treasury despite the removal of fuel subsidy. SERAP argues that Nigerians have a right to know the details of the country's oil production and revenues, stating the transparency would ensure that the revenues generated from Nigeria's daily oil production and exportation are not diverted into private pockets. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has expressed concern over what they perceive as a breach of legal protocols and insisted on Sabiu's accountability for his role in the currency redesign. According to the association, the special investigator on the Central Bank of Nigeria and related entities, Jim Obazi, revealed in his final report that approval for the Naira redesign did not come from the former president, but rather from Buhari's aide, Sabiu Tunde Yusuf. Huriwa demanded the immediate arrest and prosecution of Tunde Sabiu for his role in the scandal. In a related development, Huriwa expressed serious concern over the action of the immediate past Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, concerning the Nigeria Air project. Huriwa alleged that Sirika perpetrated a scam by presenting a hastily repainted chartered aircraft as the national carrier, deceiving the public. The Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Ship Management Limited has said that over 800 Nigerian seafarers are on board its international sea-going vessels. The managing director of NSML, Abdul Kadir Ahmed, said this in Lagos during the induction of 50 cadets sponsored by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency for the completion of their cadetship and award of certificate of competency. He added that the seafarers were trained to the best standard where they could compete with other seafarers in the world. Speaking on the event, he explained that the ceremony was the induction program on the NIMASA Romania cadet training and capacity development. In sports, Anthony Joshua continued his quest to return to the pinnacle of heavyweight boxing Sunday morning in Saudi Arabia as he battled to his third win in 2023 in style. The former two-time unified heavyweight champion roared back to his best with a decisive fourth-round TKO victory over Otto Wallin at the Day of Reckoning event in Riyadh. The 34-year-old unleashing a masterclass in boxing, employing a jab and right-hand combo that proved too much for his Swedish opponent to contain. Wallin eventually had to throw in the towel. Despite the dominant performance, Joshua refused to self-assess his performance, leaving that to his team. Another day at the office, he, however, acknowledged Wallin's tenacity and emphasized the importance of victory at all costs, comparing the sport to a snakes and ladders game. Title holders Enyimba have been charged for breaching NPFL framework and rules after failing to provide adequate security during their match day 15 fixture against Rangers in Aba. Enyimba's failure to provide effective security led to unauthorized persons gaining access to match officials' dressing room, which is a restricted area. The Aba Giants further breached the rule book after their fans and officials harassed the match officials in their dress room, an act capable of bringing the game to disrepute. Findy George's side failed to ensure the proper conduct of the officials, leading to the harassment and intimidation of the referee after the match. An official of the club, Oke Nwabeke, is suspended from all NPFL activities for the next 3 match weeks for inciting and unsporting conduct. Enyimba faced the risk of heavier sanctions in future if the club and any of the officials are involved in similar misconduct. In the spirit of the Utah season, Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has extended his humanitarian gesture to a journalist. He gifted a 2-bedroom flat located in Lugbe, Abuja, to a female sports reporter, Joan Nina Uwuchukwu. The beneficiary, an Abuja-based journalist who confirmed Musa's kind gesture on Sunday, said she's still in shock, even as she prayed to God to bless the former Leicester City of England striker more, saying loyalty pays. Iwuchukwu, a member of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, aside doing her job as sports reporter, has been an ardent fan of Ahmed Musa right from his days at the Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL) side Kani Pillars FC in Kano, and has taken many insults in her defense of the player with her pair. The Wolves inflicted their 4th defeat in 6 matches on Chelsea on Sunday, beating the London side 2-1 in the first Christmas Eve Premier League match since 1995. Mauricio Pochettino's men dominated possession at Molineux, but wasted their chances in a captivating game littered with careless mistakes by the visiting side. Mario Lemine and Matt Doherty put Wolves 2-0 in front, but they were made to sweat when Christopher Nkunku pulled one back on his Premier League debut. The defeat means a miserable Christmas for inconsistent Chelsea, who was stuck in 10th place in the Premier League after their fourth defeat in 6 league games, with Wolves behind them only on goal difference. There were chances at both ends early in the game. Nelson Semedo burst forward but could not find Matheus Cunha on the left before Armando Broja stumbled on the ball in the box at the other end when well placed. Chelsea's Nicholas Jackson was also guilty of failing to make the most of some good openings. And that's it on News Prime, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. See you again. I'm Queen Agaba.